Hello and welcome to our radio. Today is 31st October 2020. I am your host Sakhlain and let us start today's podcast with a very interesting topic and something menacing like the urban floods. This article in the Hindu newspaper talks about a new idea or a new mission that the author has thought of called as the Sponge Cities mission. Before understanding what this mission entails, let us discuss some important backdrop or important aspects related to the backdrop. Well, you know that in India, urban floods was a very common phenomena and it's become very rampant and menacing now as big cities, metropolitan cities like Hyderabad, Chennai, Bengaluru, Mumbai are all affected because of the urban floods. Now, if you talk particularly about the city of Hyderabad, Hyderabad has been subject to severe flooding and torrential rain since a very long time. And as a solution to this problem, Potsdam Institute for Climate Impact Research from Germany, the Potsdam Institute for Climate Impact Research Germany had built climate adaptation tools particularly for Hyderabad and presented it to the local authority, which is the Hyderabad Municipal Development Authority, HMDA. But this HMDA did not use this tool provided to them, and today again Hyderabad is hugely flooded. People are suffering due to these floods. Well, we have to understand that every year there is record breaking rain in Hyderabad. Every year there is torrential rains and flooding in Hyderabad, and there are two important reasons for the existence of this problem. First is the inadequate attention that we pay to this problem, not catering to the right aspects. Second is the antiquated infrastructure in Hyderabad, which we are talking about drainage system, we are talking about the sewage system, and the rapid growth of urbanization that has faltered these kind of systems that exist in the city or in the country. So these two are the predominant reasons for occurrence of this problem. But we have to understand that this issue is not about public property versus private property, or this is not about individual conduct versus faceless government action. This is about neglecting. This issue has arisen due to neglecting. The problem of neglecting, we have neglected several things here. Of these, first thing is we have neglected the incremental use of land, especially the wetland, which has led to the problem of flooding, which has led to the problem of urban floods as such. Second, we have neglected the local communities of the region. Local communities are those which have traditional rights on the produce, on the land and the people and the water systems, etc. So we have neglected the interconnection between them two, between the wetlands and the local communities, and we have failed to learn a lesson from worldwide scenarios that have come out, worldwide examples, and that is why this problem predominantly exists. Now, what is the solution to this problem according to the author? The solution is not just the government or the state authorities can play a role here, but everyone has to be involved, be it citizens, be it the local communities, be it the civil society organizations. Everybody has to come in and take part in this, and you have to go forward. Now, this is when the Sponge Cities mission comes in. Now, this Sponge Cities mission has two important objectives. One is to avoid flood risk and to reduce water scarcity, or to provide water security to the people. Now, the Sponge Cities mission has an important role to play because a sponge and the nature of the sponge is what the city should be like. So how is a sponge? A sponge will absorb rain or water that comes to it. It stores inside it, and when you squeeze it, the water comes out. So this is how the cities should be. They should absorb the rain that comes. They should give it inside to naturally filtered soil, and this water that the rain gives should reach the urban aquifers in the city, like the ponds, like the lakes, like the rivers, etc. And the water that is reaching these urban aquifers will later reach the groundwater, and this will recharge the groundwater levels in the country. And once it recharges the groundwater level in the country, that water can be used for water supply through wells, etc. And through this system, through this cycle, we can have open green spaces where there will be growth of plants and lush greenery. There will be interconnected waterways. There will be interconnected channels. There will be well flourishing channels, ponds, rivers, and it will help in the growth of urban ecosystem. It will help in the growth of supporting the biodiversity of the city, and it will provide new spaces for recreation. Now, this mission has to be undertaken on the lines of important missions like the Amrut mission, the Hriday mission that the government has bought out, and several subjects have to be paid primary importance. First is the wetland management subject. Second is the watershed management subject, that the watershed of the urban aquifers or the natural water storages like lakes, ponds should be paid importance to. Third, there should be an emergency drainage plan. For example, if there is a problem where there is the sewage have not functioned well, the emergency drainage should be well equipped and ready. And this emergency drainage should take up a multi-stakeholder approach and a multi-stakeholder model, or you can say a multi-model approach, where then the fourth thing is banning of terrain alteration. So there will be a terrain alteration, the terrain which is related to the lakes, which related to the ponds, and people tend to alter that terrain by developing buildings, by developing infrastructure in that region. So the terrain management or the terrain alteration should be stopped, and here new water absorption systems have to be come into picture, like bioswales, retention systems, and permeable material should be used for the construction of roads, and there is use of green roofs or rainwater harvesting, so on and so forth. The aspect that we need to understand here is that there is no blame game. The conclusion is there is no blame game. There should be an approach where we have to take this forward in the right manner, and we have to give importance to nature and the importance of nature, because if the nature is safe, everyone else is safe. So this is a very good, well written article, and such innovative measures are mentioned here. Apart from this article, we have another important aspect to talk about. This is how the NAFED or the government, NAFED stands for National Agricultural Cooperative Federation of India Limited, is planning to import onions because the price has risen. Now, why has the price risen? The price of the onions have risen because there is lack of supply. Now, when there is lack of supply and there is increase in demand, the price will automatically increase. Now, to cater to the aspect of supply, NAFED has planned to import onions so that the price can be stabilized. If the supply is stabilized, the demand will be catered to and the price will be stabilized. That's the importance or the usage of imports. Now we have to understand a little bit about NAFED. NAFED, as I told you, stands for National Agricultural Cooperative Federation of India Limited. Now this was established in the year 1958 and is registered under the Multi-State Cooperative Societies Act. Now, the objectives of NAFED is to organize, promote and develop marketing and processing and storage for produces which are agricultural, which are horticultural and which are forest produces. It also works for the distribution of agriculture machinery, implements and other inputs. It also undertakes interstate import, export, etc. So as you know, the last role here NAFED is playing, and the members of this NAFED are farmers who have a say in the decision that the NAFED takes. So this is another important aspect, and the onions price have been severely fluctuating due to the kind of nature of the crop that they are cropped and they are planted through transplanting of seeds, and their processing is a little faster, and there's a lot of such aspects that come into picture when you talk about onions. So this is that one point. Let us talk about the next one. Here I am talking to you about the Public Affairs Index of 2020 released by the Public Affairs Center. Now this Public Affairs Index is a city-based index, and it is measuring states on their governance performance. This index is composite in nature. Now please understand, this is not a government index, but it is released by an NFO or the not-for-profit organization called as the Public Affairs Center. Now this index says that in the aspect of large states, or in the criteria of large states, Kerala is the best performing state or the best governed state, followed by Tamil Nadu, then Andhra Pradesh and then Karnataka. So these four South Indian states are the best governed large states of the country. And if you talk about the worst governed, the lowest is UP followed by Bihar. The lowest is Uttar Pradesh followed by Bihar. When you talk about the smaller states, the best performing state is Goa followed by Meghalaya, and then the worst in this category can be Delhi and Manipur. If you talk about union territories, the best performing union territories are Chandigarh followed by Puducherry and then Lakshadweep. The worst performing union territory, the first one is Dadra Nagar Haveli, Andaman and Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory. So this is the picture provided by this Public Affairs Center in the Public Affairs Index, where Kerala is the best performing state among large and Goa is the best performing states among small of them. I would like to end this topic by talking about one of my favorite animal species, those are turtles. So if you talk about the olive ridley turtles, they are a very important species and they are the smallest and the most abundant of sea turtles found across the world. They are predominantly found in the warm waters of Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean and Indian Ocean. They are categorized as vulnerable in the IUCN Red List. They are found in the Appendix 1 of CITES and they are placed in the Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. So they are giving the highest protection of authority when it comes to the Wildlife Protection Act. And another important criteria or aspect that you need to know about these turtles is Aribada. What is Aribada? Aribada is a unique mass nesting that these turtles undertake where thousands of females come on together on the same beach and lay eggs. So it also happens in India in regions like Rishikulia on the Rishikulia beach, the Gahirmata beach, and there is the Bhitarkanika National Park. So all this place it happens. Now olive ridleys are facing serious threats due to the loss of habitat, due to unfriendly turtle fishing practices, due to exploitation of the beaches and development of tourist centers. So this becomes quite an important aspect to note from UPSC point of view, prelims, biodiversity. And that's it for today's R Radio. Hope you enjoyed today's session. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.